Hello, Tom Wiersma here, one of your co-hosts of IPM's Packaging Pundits podcast. We're bringing to you experts from throughout the industry that will share points of view and insights as to how to improve your packaging system. It could be an aging system, it could be a greenfield system, but we'll bring all those experts in and they'll provide insights as to how to optimize your operation. Looking forward to speaking with you. I was going to wonder if you have been any plants this past week and saw packaging systems.
I've been to a few this week, actually.
What'd you see? What are a couple examples of what you saw?
Well, I was in a facility that was doing flexible packaging and then also more rigid packaging, and a little bit of a difference, but the structure's pretty much the same. Where they're making of a product and then they're putting it into some sort of package, whether it's flexible or whether it's rigid, and then it goes into a carton or a label or some sort of inspection system, and then they take that and move it into maybe a master case in a case packer and down into some additional labeling and coding and then some palletizing. But it's similar flow from one system to the next.
Did you stumble upon any sort of unusual problems, or you exasperated by what you saw?
There's definitely some unique instances. I mean, I'm typically going in there because there is some sort of problem that they want to look at. So some of the stuff came around, how much time was spent on engineering a system on the front end versus, hey, we just bought a piece of equipment and we plugged it in here and didn't really think about how it was going to we just thought it was going to be plug and play. And there were some little things that were missed that created some issues on the back end as far as efficiencies and uptime.
Yeah. One of the things I always wonder about is if system operators know how to fix problems they're running across. Do they know what to do to make things improved?
The importance of an operator nowadays is significantly more sufficient. Like there's a big importance driven from the operation of the equipment because there's more technology there that you need somebody that can understand how to problem solve and diagnose root cause analysis for what happened and why it happened. So a lot of times, yes, good operators can go in and look and see a problem and know, yeah, this was an issue with the product or the product itself, or this was an issue with the material that we were using, or this was a machine issue and we need to make an adjustment. So a lot of times an operator might get in there and actually make an adjustment to the machine when it was a material in feed that the blank was off or misplaced, and you don't need to adjust it. It was a once-off thing. And now that adjustment just creates another problem that you're going to have after, because the next piece of material that's coming in is correct. And you just made an adjustment that now is for the wrong piece of material that was previous. So operator experience there is huge and critical.
So it's not really a system problem in that case. It's a packaged material problem or
it's how does the product stop and start and what's causing its root cause analysis at the end of the day. And how does that actually equate to uptime for machine centers? And that's where that system optimization is critical, because those instances happen all the time. And so that's not built into efficiency and availability numbers. That's just real world issues that come up. And how do you navigate that? So how do you build in that buffering and that flexibility you need in that system to make sure that the majority of the time in these production facilities, the making of the product, you can't stop that process. You don't want to stop that process. So how do you integrate a system then to make sure that, knowing that those issues are going to happen, how do you make sure you've got a system that's smart enough to be able to react to that and still maintain that product flow and that you need to keep the processing moving?
So do you see buffering that's built into most packaging systems to accommodate those interruptions in service?
So sometimes, yeah. I mean, there's definitely a mix. There's people that think differently about the importance of accumulation and the benefits of accumulation. So there's definitely a huge topic that we could unpack there in maybe a future episode if we wanted to, for specifically relating to buffering and accumulation and how do you deal with that. There's other ways that you can handle it from a control standpoint, but how that all goes together and the run rates on lines and how fast things are moving and how much time you have between there, that all goes into the how do you want to optimize a system layout.
And I have to imagine that different kinds of products and package types are going to require different approaches to buffering and accumulation.
Absolutely. It's all part of it. And even similar package types and different sizes and different
Oh, yes.
orientation on the
Yeah.
line and how you need to go and feed product and orient it into a case. You might need to manipulate a product a few different ways as it's flowing down the line. So that all has major effects on when and
Yeah.
where you want accumulation and what you do.
And that could change by SKU too, couldn't it? I mean, we could have the same product type on the line, but different SKU, meaning different package size or different orientation or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so how that's a lot of times it comes more into effect when it's a display case, a retail ready case, where that product is on the shelf in the case that it's put in. So how it's presented there has a huge impact on the customer that's going to go and pick it up out of the box when they're going to go buy it.
Oh, yeah.
And so you want that to be presented as well as what it possibly can be. So you need your equipment to be able to handle that
Yeah.
and manipulate that product
Yeah.
as well as what you can.
So another issue then going forward, future podcasts will be the whole issue of line control and how do you manage those different SKUs and different product types going downstream.
Yeah. Yep. That's another topic outside of just accumulation.
Yeah.
So line control becomes that much more important if you do have accumulation, and how do you run that and bleed that down
Yeah.
throughout the process. But yeah, those are two huge topics as far as driving uptime and efficiency on a line. And that you see that time and time again in a production facility where a lot of this might be aging assets, where a lot of these facilities are built over the course of decades. And you've got one line that was put in 20 years ago,
Mhm.
right next to a new line that was put in last year. And the differences in the technology from 20 years ago to now is significant. You need to be able to operate that well from an operation standpoint. You need to be able to think through what happens if there's an issue when you're automating all of this, and everything needs to sync together.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Lots to think about.